Met one in college. She pointed at the students who were 40 years or older and started laughing, saying they are all losers. Story 1. I went on a date with a good-looking girl to a busy mall nearby. As we were walking through the mall, we passed by a little kid crying with his mom close behind. After we passed them, she laughed. I love seeing little kids cry, she said. At that time, she was working as an English teacher with elementary school kids, so I asked her about her students. She said she enjoyed making her kids cry at work too. Story 2. Yeah, I am a total bitch and I do not even care. Gloating about being mean is not a good thing. To me, if you are boasting about that, you probably do not have much self-esteem to begin with. Story 3. Losers for being in college at 40 plus? PSH, you don't know them. You don't know their life story. That guy might be a lawyer whose degree is from Columbia. Edit. It's a response to the original poster's example in the post text. Story 4. Got called disgusting multiple times a week when she knew I 1. Showered twice a day, grew up mostly without running water, and she only showered twice a week. Story 5. When I was just starting high school, I came across a really pretty girl standing at the bus stop in the morning. I was too shy to say anything, but that wouldn't matter. A few days into that very same week, some kids at the back of the bus started making some pretty offensive and racial remarks about me, and she just went along with it. Went from a 10 to a 1 real fast. Story 6. She was needlessly mean to waitstaff. It's a telltale sign when someone gets a kick out of abusing people considered below them that they are a terrible individual. Story 7. I expect to be taken out at least twice a week. Girl, if we get along, I will take you out more than that. But the way you said that just screamed entitlement. Hard pass for me. Story 8. Friend's cousin who was hot as hell. We go and have some drinks. We all get drunk and then a friend of hers comes in and they kiss. When we go back home, she then proceeds to say, I like him because he has a lot of money. Even my friend said she was dumb as for saying that. Story 9. Men cannot get raped. Then, when I factually disagreed with her, she said, okay, fine, but it's not as big a deal as when a woman gets raped. Pretty sure I literally just stopped talking to her. Story 10. There are all kinds of criminals in this town. Rapists, murderers, thieves, drug dealers, and unemployed people. You only need to worry about your data if you've got something that you're hiding. Some people are as dumb as rocks and manage to be vile at the same time. Story 11. Had just picked her up to go on a movie date. As we were driving down her street, she pointed out a limping dog and said, he's limping because I hit him with my car. I did it on purpose because he kept jumping over our fence into our yard. Story 12. I met a girl for some mini golf in my early 20s. She started pointing and laughing at the field trip for disabled children and mocking them. I threw her ball and club in the water and walked away. Story 13. She said that she got herself a puppy recently, but then had to give it to an animal shelter because it was salivating over her dresses too much. She went from 9 out of 10 to 0 out of 10 really quick in my eyes. Story 14. After a few drinks and lots of real conversation about interests, life goals, and motivation, the only thing that really matters to me about a man is his height. Story 15. She started showing me pictures of all the most valuable items that she stole. Like, okay, maybe you once walked into a convenience store and stole a candy bar. That's forgivable. But stealing cat statues from your neighbor or someone's wallet with $500 inside of it that they accidentally left in the bathroom stall instead of returning it, that's not cool. Story 16. Met a nice girl in a French course in college. We had to take the same bus afterward, so we were waiting at the bus stop, and she's super cute and giving me signals. I thought, hell yeah, this is great. Then another girl went by, and she made some super vile comments about her. Not even trying to be funny, which would have been bad enough, just really vile and shallow comments about her looks and what it said about her as a person. The spark was gone in an instant. If she makes those comments about a random girl she's never met in front of a guy she barely knows, how will she think about my female friends if we ever were in a relationship? It just showed me how she thinks about people and that she's just nice to the ones she wants to get something from, like attention or affection. Story 17. Went on a dinner date with a woman. She seemed like a nice woman. Our waitress was Indian. After she takes our order and leaves, my date begins to say mean things about Indian people. I'm white. She is white. My adopted sister is Indian. I just excused myself and left. I don't tolerate racist people. They suck. Story 18. I'm still struggling to wrap my head around this one. Very attractive, fun girl. The first date is going pretty well, and out of the blue, she asks me if I've ever been with a black girl, and if so, that's a deal breaker for her because they're not human. What in the actual? Needless to say, I got out of there as soon as possible. Story 19. Yes, I just can't stand Mexicans. This was after I casually mentioned that we should stop at a taco truck. Weird move for a first date. And no, it didn't play out for her, Cotton. Story 20. Had a cute girl once compliment my bulge. You'd think that would be an ego boost, but something about a girl coming up to talk to me just because she thinks I'm well endowed is a huge turnoff. I mean, I'm not, so I'd hate to disappoint, but even if I was, I'd be turned off. Story 21. Beautiful black girl I met at work who seemed to be interested in me. I found out she had $60,000 in student debt. Okay, no big deal. Then she said she had a child. Okay, a little concerning but not a deal breaker. Then she told me about how her child's father dislikes white men and doesn't want her dating one because it'll mess up his baby. Okay. Racist father. Getting more concerning now. She then told me she was voted the prettiest girl in school. She proceeded to grab her chest and ask if I liked how big they were. Red flags are really becoming frequent. If you thought it was getting bad, here's the worst part. She then showed me a picture of her child and said, "He's too dark. I want a lighter-skinned one." This all happened before I said anything. Story 22. Was an ex-girlfriend of mine. I shushed her because she was being loud and obnoxious as we were walking through the hotel lobby. And she said, "I don't care. I could pay for these employees' salary with the Hermes I'm wearing." Story 23. Some racist statements and acting like her bigoted views were the most normal thing in the world. She took it for granted that, obviously, I felt the same way. Nope. Story 24. When they start posting their conversations on their social media stories. Yeah, you keep taking screenshots of those conversations you have with others. It just makes me less inclined to communicate with them as I don't like being active on my social media. Or if I am, I don't post screenshots of conversations or engage in any attention-seeking moves. I'm not speaking about those who occasionally take screenshots, but those who do it constantly. Like, your conversations aren't even entertaining. Why are you showing your business to everyone else? That, however, is just my own quirk. I would say I'm antisocial in the way that I don't like putting myself out there, or in the United Kingdom, baiting myself out for the social. I feel girls around my age group are the majority who don't post everything in their stories, but for the people slightly younger, the majority seem to favor clout chasing in the social stories. I just like being low-key, and I don't mind an active or social friend. But if you're posting everything you do in your story, I'm sorry, but I need to stop associating myself with you. Story 25. I think I'm a racist. I mean, I'm just wondering why you would tell me. Like, gee, thanks for feeling so comfortable around me that you could tell me. But yikes, girl, I'm not okay with that. That was in high school. Story 26. I met an unbelievably gorgeous woman on the beach once. She was the most beautiful woman I had ever kissed, the kind of person that everyone notices. We dated for maybe a week and went on 3 dates. This happened around the time when Ferguson, Missouri, was experiencing unrest, but news reports were inconsistent. I mentioned that I would like to know what was really going on there and suggested covertly visiting just to see for ourselves. She abruptly asked, "Why would you care about those people?" It was so shocking that I assumed she had a sick sense of humor. When I asked if she was joking, she said, "No, seriously. Those people are tearing up their own neighborhood." I walked out and never spoke to her again. She was truly attractive, but it was a real shame. Story 27. We were going out for about a month, and she was staying over at my place for the 4th time. She didn't notice me walking into the kitchen, and I saw her kick my dog in the head. She was shocked when she realized I saw, and that led to a quick breakup. Story 28. Explain to me why my stupid jokes were stupid. I know why they are stupid. Did not thank the waiter when he refilled a drink or brought food. Expressed a love for Celine Dion. Story 29. Had a girlfriend back in the day. Spent hours to find a great birthday card. Not some Hallmark crap either. An artisan one. When she saw it, she had a mental breakdown because I didn't put the date on the card. Yeah, the date. I cringed thinking she was majoring in psychology at the time and someone is probably getting ready to sit on her couch. Great personality, though. I try to remember the good things. Story 30. Years ago, I was on an internet relay chat channel with this extremely attractive woman, like local model attractive. As you would expect, I treated her really well and was very nice. Then one day my best friend, the nicest guy I have known in my whole life, posted a picture, and she made fun of him and called him ugly. After that, I treated her poorly because physical beauty means nothing if it's not backed up by kindness. Story 31. She was a coworker and she was totally my type, short, nice body, athletic, into many of the same things as me. We had been chatting a lot and had lunch together a few times, and things were going well. Then one day during lunch, a biracial couple, a black man and a white woman, sat down near us, and she made a face and remarked about how disgusting that was. I asked a few leading questions to make sure I heard what I thought I heard, and yes, she was a card-carrying racist. Lunch was nearly over anyway, so we finished up and went back to the office, but that was the end of my pursuit of her. Story 32. The second I see them treating staff poorly, meaning waiters, retail workers, etc., I feel upset. There are very few times you should ever be angry at someone in those jobs, as they have little to no control over most things that happen. They make little to no money while putting up with people's nonsense. When I see it, the word jerk pops into my head, and their looks don't mean anything to me. Story 33. One-upping every achievement someone else had. Let people be proud of things. It does not diminish your own accomplishments. Story 34. This girl was cute and all. She and her friends asked me what my zodiac sign was and told me that we were the worst ones. They judge people based on their signs. Story 35. When she starts listing off in detail about the other guys dating her and trying to date her while you're on a date with her, it made me wonder if she'll be doing the same to me when dating those other dudes. Story 36. I met this gorgeous girl during my freshman year of college. We went out, not an official date, but close enough. On our way to the restaurant, she made a stereotypical remark about Asians being terrible drivers and how she hated them. I grew up with racist people, and I promised myself once I got to college to avoid people like that. Needless to say, she was amazing in 100 ways, but that one thing really made it difficult to continue to like her. Story 37. She told me that I needed to get rid of my dog on our first date. We had barely even known each other for 20 minutes, as a friend set us up, and she had already managed to make a demand that ended any chance of a relationship before we had even ordered our food. I ended up trudging my way through the rest of our hour-long dinner date, 15 minutes of which revolved around her dislike of dogs and how dirty, loud, and destructive they are. I gave her a ride home and never even entertained the idea of calling her back. Story 38. This thread reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Elaine meets an incredibly attractive, nice, sensitive guy. They hit it off, but then Elaine finds out he is vehemently against abortion, leading her to be unable to continue finding him attractive. Story 39. I knew a girl from university who did not fully believe in rape. Either in men or women, she felt that everybody wanted sex. And in the case of children, she thought they didn't know they wanted it yet. I never talked to her again. Story 40. Okay, so after I broke up with this girl, her sister sent me a friend request. Whatever, except friend request. Now, I'm kind of a scumbag, or at least I was then. I'm married now. So I was not at all above having her kind of in the roster. You know, she's there just in case. And I kind of figured she was interested, too, because she would message me to ask what I was doing and such. Keep in mind, I barely knew this girl. One day, I'm scrolling through Facebook, and kind of in the back of my mind, as I'm quickly and mindlessly scrolling through all this junk, I think, man, I've seen a lot of Nazi stuff on here lately. Is it the anniversary of the movie American History X? Why do I remember seeing so many pictures of Edward Norton with a swastika on his chest? It was her. She was a neo-Nazi. I went to her page, and there were memes about being a neo-Nazi. Someone was making these memes. There were comments and discussion threads of her among her friends, sharing pictures of their swastika tattoos. My reaction was basically, nope. And I immediately unfriended her. Goodbye, Ilsa. Story 41. I understand that it's not their choice to be like that, but maybe some of them deserve it. A cute medical student that I met at university when asked what she thinks of people born with disabilities. Story 42. A girl in my class saw herself as the high-quality rice, while one of my friends was the bottom scrape. I told her that she had an ideology somewhat like Hitler, and she laughed. Story 43. A girl I liked for a long time once told me that she hated people with autism. As someone with autism who helps people with autism, I was so offended I just cut her off right there. Story 44. I don't like dogs. They're messy. If you cannot handle me at my worst, you do not deserve me at my best. Men should pay for all the dates. Also, having the whole I'm a badass attitude when you know she is anything but. Basically, any entitled behavior, dislike for animals, or treating waiters poorly turns you ugly really fast.